Hi, welcome to Urban Goes Green for the new year, 2011. Today I'm going to be having a conversation with Haylay, who's the co-author of a book called The Sustainable Table. So tell us a bit about The Sustainable Table.
Sure, Emily. So The Sustainable Table is principally a cookbook, but it's a collection of stories and recipes from farmers, we've got producers, home gardeners and everyday people who are tackling environmental issues through food. My organisation I founded, Yalbulla, we're a social venture, and we focus on teaching people about environmental issues, and we also support communities in need, developing communities principally overseas. So the book for us was an opportunity to do both of those things, is to educate people at the same time as hopefully raise some money for us so we can give back to these communities in need.
Okay, so what's an example of a community that you assist through the process?
So one of the organisations we've partnered with in the past is a Tibetan organisation in China, and what we did with them is we supported them to distribute solar cookers to villages, and so what a solar cooker actually does is it obviously uses the sun to help them cook food. So in the past they were using sort of from the environment, taking from the environment, so there was deforestation issues. But one of the important benefits for them was that they weren't using indoor stoves as much, and the smoke from the indoor stoves is actually the cause of about 1.6 million deaths worldwide. So that was obviously for us the importance is to find environmental projects that have really important health and community benefits as well.
Good. And it looks like in the Sustainable Table you found local projects that are doing some wonderful things. So what's an example of like some stories and people in the book?
So one of the stories we've got in here is about a community garden called Sprout, and that's a project of Mind, which is a mental health charity, and they have a community garden as a place for people with mental illnesses to come and to use food and that connection with the garden to help their rehabilitation.
Great. And then you've visited restaurants.
Yep.
As well,
so we acknowledge that food is very big in Melbourne. It's very so trendy, and chefs are now becoming a little bit celebrity-like. We've got things like Master Chef. So we also found restaurants who were doing really good things in the environment, and most of them who are sort of finding the farmers as well, and they're getting their produce direct from a farm rather than through a wholesaler. So there were some fantastic examples of some restaurants. One in particular, Annie Smithers, who has her own restaurant, and she actually has an acre where she farms all her food, and 90% of the produce in her restaurant is actually from her garden.
Beautiful. Well, I also just wanted to quickly touch on the idea of food sustainability and how that idea and that way, that approach, can engage with people in environmental issues more so than other approaches.
Sure.
Why do you think that is? And I think that you had some really good ideas around that.
I think the original idea to sort of get involved in food and the environment was, for us, came out of when we were having conversations with people about sort of sustainability, and found that people were starting to switch off, be less engaged when you were talking about things like climate change and energy. With food,
it all seems quite abstract I think, to the everyday person.
And I think with food, when you start talking about food with people, it's something that we do 3 times a day or more.
Or more.
And people can start to see the connection to their health as well, and also the health of their children if they're looking at organics. And so without even realising it, you're starting to look at your environmental impact by doing something you're enjoying. And I think the statistic that I think the ACF actually put out was that 60% of our personal impact is from our food choices. So it's a really good stepping stone for people that might not currently be engaged in issues to start.
So, on that note, a lot of that information and more ideas about food sustainability is in the Sustainable Table, so I highly recommend it. And
if you want to purchase a copy, you can visit our website.
Yes.
So that's yalbula.org.au, and Yalbula is yaubula.org.au.
So what's the story behind Yalbula? What's
the name?
Yeah.
So the name's Fijian, and it actually means natural resource. But when you say Yalbula, two separate words, it actually means my life. So for us, it's a perfect connection because the two are intrinsically linked. You can't have one without the other, basically.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for coming in today,
you.
Haylay. It's been great to meet you, and we'll see you next week.